I actually started my own business when I was 18. For me, I have to be driven, or else I just feel like मैं सुबह उठ के क्या करूँगी? I used to go from Nahda to JLT, and my sister was always there with me. My mom and my brother, they are my delivery partners.
So in today's podcast, we have a very young entrepreneur at the age of 23. Her name is Nabia. She has a gift shop which is online and offline, but mostly online, and runs an amazing page called Nabia Creates. People love her gifts, and the way she customizes it is something which we need to know and learn, and that's what we're also talking about. So in this podcast, we learn about her journey, we learn about her, and we learn about how she comes up with all these crazy gifts for some amazing events for you and me. So my name is Anil Lobo and you're listening to Raina Tours podcast. Hope you enjoy listening. Thank you. Hi Nabia.
Hi Anil.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for coming and
I'm so
taking
glad.
your busy schedule. So we have already had the discussion. For me particularly, why this podcast is very important is because not only me, but I'm quite sure a lot of people will be jealous when I tell the following. The following is this, that you are 23-year-old entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur, entrepreneur.
I know that movie.
23.
It's from English.
Yeah. So the jealous part is the time when I was 23, I was not doing anything. Okay.
How old are you?
I'm, guess,
27?
28.
Okay. Close.
28, yeah.
Yeah.
28, hitting 29. So it became more longer.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I was 23, I had just decided that I want to like pursue my passion. Like that was the time I decided.
Okay.
Here you are flourishing. I think it's a good word to use, flourishing.
Alhamdulillah. Yes.
Yeah, flourishing in your career. So this is where half the population of the world will be jealous. How can a 23-year-old, like in this buzzing social media where there's so many things to do, how can a person at 23 age pull this amazing stuff out? That's
Okay.
Nabia Creates.
Firstly, it's so unreal for me to hear all of this.
Yeah.
Because I talk about it on my stories all the time as well, that I don't get to hear. I'm sure you meet people, and people recognize you and all of that as well.
You're telling me? No,
Yeah.
I don't have that. I think it's only...
I don't think so.
Okay.
Anyways, but I don't get to see it because I don't leave my office. So
Okay.
for the past 2 years, I've just been at my office, and even though we make so many things and we ship all around UAE and now all around the world, but still,
Around the world?
yes, we ship.
Oh
around
my
the world.
God, this is getting more embarrassing.
No, but then I don't get to meet any single person because it goes from our hand to the courier to the customer. And then they sort of reply, I loved it, and they share pictures, but I don't get to see it. So I feel like I don't live in that world where I see some entrepreneur who's become so big, because obviously, the business is big and it's doing well, alhamdulillah. But I don't get to hear about that or see that. So,
You said past 2 years, right?
yeah.
So is it true that it's just been 2 years?
It's just been 2 years.
2 years?
So we started, it's been a journey.
Are you also a COVID kid? Like, are you also the person who has flourished the career from COVID? Is that true? Before that?
So yes and no. I actually started my own business when I was 18. And I was just finishing with my AS level exams, and I started a business and I was so naive.
This is the same business or
No,
different?
another business.
Okay.
I started in advertising, but my own business, and I was very naive going into this massive industry, thinking that it's going to work out well. I tried that for a year.
Okay.
Burnt some money on that, and then my mom was like, you know what, band kar do beta. Let's try something else. And then I pretty much...
What was the business, but if you could
actually, I don't mind. So we were actually advertising on cups. So the idea was that we'd work with a coffee shop, and we would give them free cups, and on the cup we would put an advertising of, for example, Raina Tour.
Okay.
So the cafe would get free cups, and Raina Tour would pay for advertising on the cups.
Okay.
So while you're sipping your chai, while you're sipping your coffee, it's like that constant reminder. And I think back then social media also wasn't as big as it is today. And I worked so hard on that. I used to go from Nahda to JLT.
At the age of 18?
At the age of 18.
Oh my God.
I used to go from Nahda to JLT, and my sister was always there with me. We would go, that whole circle in JLT. We'd contact every coffee shop.
I've not been a long time in Dubai.
Okay.
You're talking like you've been there. People don't go to college at 18, man. They don't want to go.
No,
And
so
you're like
I've always been passionate. I don't know where. I sometimes think where it comes from, but for me, I have to be driven, or else I just feel like मैं सुबह उठ के क्या करूँगी, ना?
Damn, I think just 3 minutes in the conversation, like amused with how bright you are. Are you a bright student?
I was.
Are you a topper?
I was not a topper. I was not a topper.
Ridiculous. What was your percentage?
I didn't go to CBSE. I went to.
There's no... Okay. Okay. Continue.
So we didn't have percentages. We had like AS levels. We had the highest grade was A.
You got A, obvious, right?
No, there were 4 subjects. So I got like A's and B's mix. I was not...
B's. Okay.
Yeah.
Finally,
A star. There was no A star at that time, but I did pretty okay. Better than I thought I would do. And I was not always a topper, but I really cared about learning more than just the textbook. So I would look at, even back then, I would look at accounting in application. Right? How can I use it for my daily life? How can I keep track of my expenses as well? So I think for me, it was not about book smart.
You're really like some amazing, organized soul. I don't know how you got that. Might be from your parents. Is that right?
I think so.
Because it's very, I don't know. I have never been organized. Look at our setup also. It's always changing.
No, so I'm not organized, but I think, like I asked you before the interview as well, like, I'm sure you can't go to sleep, and you're like,
no, I sleep.
So I can't go to sleep. So
perks of being very organized.
It's not perks. It's like I can't put my brain to rest a lot of the time. So,
I personally might not say like in 365 days, like 200 days, yeah. Some days, 100 days I'll have that.
But these ideas keep you up at night.
Yeah. If it's a crazy idea, which I know it's going to need some more, like, it might be a different ball game wherein I'm not, as I said already pre-interview, when I don't need to go and literally use my hand and make it, where I actually make it, but not how, your work is not only about creativity, but also the art on it.
The art
itself. So it doesn't stop with, okay, the idea is there and then anything. After that, there's somebody who needs to, create.
Make it,
Especially when you tell me you make it.
Yeah.
You make everything. There's no machine there. There's no one, outsourcing. That is little more.
So obviously we have machinery, but it's all in-house.
Okay, so, you have machinery.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand. Sticker.
There are things that are made by hand, and like we do these engraved wine glasses that are made by hand, and then there are things that are made by machine. But so the whole production unit is in-house.
Damn. I'm like deviating from my own topic because you are very interesting. Like little I'm getting like surprised, but coming back to my flow of my podcast, I'll have a small, quick, like a rapid fire. Okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 words I'll give you. Like whatever, one word I'll tell you, and whatever first thing comes in mind, you need to fire it out. Okay. Like for example, let me say, actor.
Shah Rukh Khan.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, that was not the first question, but let's go. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 10 questions, one word rapid fire. Let's go. First, passion.
Driven.
Food.
Biryani.
Film.
Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna.
Damn, you're a Shah Rukh Khan fan. Color.
My sister watches all the time. So.
Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna. Oh, okay. Color.
Blue. All-time favorite.
Car.
Range Rover.
Book.
There is this amazing book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Yeah, I've read that.
Oh my God, life-changing.
How many times have you read that book?
I've read it once, but I've read it end to end, highlighting every single thing I can.
Damn. Okay, I will have a discussion on that as well. Dubai.
Home.
Sales.
I love.
Social media.
Another passion. Can't live without it.
Last but not least, coffee mug.
Friends coffee mug.
Okay, great.
Our famous Friends coffee mug.
Great. Okay, so these were my 10 questions. The reason why I asked you is just to know a little more about you. Like, just to see, like, for example, book is something I think we'll connect on. And coffee mug, because it's, I think, kind of where Nabia Create goes, right? The creativity and the gifts.
Yeah.
And coffee mug is the ultimate gift, which when no one has anything, let's give a coffee mug.
Let's do a mug.
I've got a lot of mugs like that. So I'm like, oh, okay.
We were going to get a mug.
But if it was, I'm telling you, I've seen your work. And if anybody gives me a gift, my camera person, if anybody gives me ever a gift, please give something from Nabia Creates because it's just amazing. Really, that's a fact.
Thank you.
Now, coming to my first part, right? Obviously, you said you are like the person who's creating and all that. Let's talk about your team.
Okay.
I want to know who is there in your team and what they do and how is it. 2 years, right? I mean, this team is formulated in 2 years' time, right?
Yeah.
So, how many people do you have right now?
We are currently 6 people in the office.
Okay.
4 people who work from another country. So we work from different countries around the world. And then my family, of course. So around 14, 15 people.
Like US.
Yeah, live together. Yeah.
And talking about your office, so have you taken a actual setup office? Or
yeah. We used to work from home 2 years. June, right when we hit 2 years, we were like, the place has become small for us because our stuff does get messy, right? There's packing, there's a packing station, production station, and where we store things. We're like, we have to move into.
Who designed the stations? I'm quite sure there'll be somebody who thought.
So it's not that organized, but we just have certain stations. Obviously, near the packing station, there needs to be the packing trolley. So we have a 3-layer trolley that has your wrapping paper, it has tape, it has bags, thank you cards, stickers. So nothing as such. We do roll around a lot because depending on rush. So when there's a lot of rush, it's like, let's just pack where we find place. Okay. And when with normal days, it's just more chill.
And apart from you, who's the other person who takes a lot of tension in your office? Like, how to do this? Anybody?
So my sister.
Oh.
So I wouldn't even say that I started by myself. Me and my sister, we started this together. And if there's anything that we need to do, so right now we're working on our Christmas collection, and we both are like, okay, what are we doing new this year? Because people look forward to it. They're like, what are you going to do? And Christmas, people are already looking a month before, like, what are you gonna have in store? I attended a dinner with my friend recently, and she's like, I can't wait for Christmas, and I was like, okay. So like there is that pressure. So we sit together.
So you're having some special Christmas edition stuff coming.
We do that every
festival. I feel.
Yeah. So we just finished Diwali. Now we are looking at Christmas.
How was Diwali? I mean, I know, but still just asking.
Amazing. Alhamdulillah, touch wood. It was beyond something I could even imagine. Because last year Diwali, our collection was very limited. This year, because we also grew our team by 3-4 people overnight, we were able to cater to many more people. And what was unique for me is that a lot of people approached us who bought stuff and they were like, send it directly to the receiver, which was a new thing for me that I learned. How do you manage so many deliveries in one day and coordinate with drivers, get it there on time? So other than that, the collection was beautiful.
Let's talk about a setback, okay? I want to know, like, everything's going very nice. But in this 2 years journey, do you remember or recollect any time which there was a setback type of a situation? Like, oh my God, it's done. I can't do this. Or something. Like, there's always at one time any time in your career where might be some incident which you're like really demotivated now for some reason.
So I wasn't demotivated, but there was a time. So when we initially started, we were working from home, and it was a very small space that we were living in. Not very small, but it was like a 2 BHK in which the hall we had completely occupied.
Okay.
So we were working from there day in and day out, and then there came a time for our first year anniversary. We did crazy prices. We had so many orders coming in, fulfilling, and that time we had pickups. So it's like you order, then you come and you pick it up.
Okay.
And I think at that point I was going to go crazy because we didn't even realize that we had to set a timing to the pickup. Like, come between this and this timing, please. And people were coming anytime.
Late in the night also?
Late in the night, early in the morning. So I'm someone who stays awake at night. I'll think of ideas, I'll work, and that's where I feel I'm very productive. So I would call people at like 12 or 11 for pickup, and I would be sleeping. It was so much to handle, and at one point it felt like a McDonald's service. Right? So it was like a building in Nada. So like people, you can't go up and down that fast.
Yeah.
And I'm just sending my houseboy, I'm sending this stuff, I'm going myself. Like one person goes down, the other person comes up, you take something, go down again. So much to handle. And then I sat with my mom. I was like, I'm so tired. What do I do? How do I manage this? Because my thing was not to stop it, because for me it's always about convenience of the customer. And she was like, I think you need to give this a break. The pickups. Put a minimal delivery charge, because our delivery charge back then was like 20 or 25. Okay. She was like, reduce it. Okay, whatever the consequences are, it's okay, but stop pickups. And we did that, and it was really good. Now we started pickups again, so it's more organized.
Coming to, I realized that especially like when you have to do something by your own, like a business, I think family comes like a very important part.
Yeah.
Especially now in your case where you're like a kid. I mean, now we call it like, right? Old generations people call.
It's not that much of a difference. But
I think I come in the phase now that I can call a kid 20 and 25. Tak I can call people like kids. It's okay. When you come to this age, you'll also start it. I can bet. Because when I was 23, there were people of that age calling. So now I'm doing that, and you'll also do that, right? So basically, you're like a kid, okay, in this business and all. And I want to know the importance of your family. I'm quite sure that the place that you are in, it cannot be wherein your parents aren't supporting you and you're like fighting and you're trying to be that warrior. I'm quite sure there's a lot of support that has come.
There is more than I can imagine. And my mom and my brother, they are my delivery partners on a lot of days. Not every day, but a lot of days. So like Christmas 2 years back, Christmas fell back when UAE was off on Friday. Yeah. Christmas fell on a Friday, which means Christmas Day deliveries couldn't be done through courier. So my mom and brother, they started from Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, and then they went all the way back to Dubai and went to Abu Dhabi. Back when there was that PCR on the border, they did PCR, they went to Abu Dhabi to give deliveries. So they are my delivery partner. My brother looks at accounts. My mom looks at purchasing. My sister, she is everything with me for production and videos. She helps me make so many of those. So yeah, family support is everything.
Also, the whole being like an entrepreneur in your family, is there anyone who has inspired you or something like that?
I think my parents.
Can you talk more about?
So
I want to know about them.
I've not been born here, but I'm brought up here. I came here when I was like 2-3 months.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen my parents go through all of these industries in UAE, getting into one and not working out and getting into another one, then flourishing in it. So they have been in the construction industry, which is it's a very difficult industry actually to be in. And when I see them working so hard, and I've seen them work very hard the entire life, pretty much how I am right now. So I think that's what inspires me, because like I see them and they have something to look forward to.
Okay, that's cool. I didn't ask this. I think I should ask this question way back. How did this idea, because you had done one business of cups.
Yeah.
And then I want to know, how did this journey of Nabia Creates and all this start? Like, what inspired you? Okay, let's do this. So I think it's a very tricky industry, right? Or is it a nice? How is it?
It is a very. I feel at home in this industry because I'm my.
No, not now. I think now. I'm telling you the start. At
the start, there were 2-3 key players in the industry. There were always key players because even back then you would order cakes and flowers. They might not be direct competition, but there was always competition. Okay. Yeah. There were big players in the industry. Back when I started,
How did you start? Like, how did this come? Okay, I want to do this.
So I got into illustrating. I actually love animation. I live for animated movies, and that might make me sound like a kid. But I used to watch them all the time, and I was like, I want to make cartoons anyhow. And I downloaded an app on my iPad, and I just started illustrating.
Drawing.
Yeah. Wow. So I illustrated my sister for her birthday. I illustrated my parents, my friends, and then my friend convinced me, like, you're already working so hard, stop posting it on your personal account, just make an account. And I was like, okay, and I made the account.
That's when Nabia Creates.
Yeah. So then I would actually put up these posts, and I had no idea people would buy this, or that I could charge for it. I had no idea what to price things. And I put it out there, and people like, I want to order this, me and my friend, or me and my boyfriend. And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll make it. And that's sort of where it started from.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And in COVID, were you doing the business?
Yeah, so I actually started on Fiverr. I did my gig listing on Fiverr. It was like 2 people illustration for like $5.
That's where you started?
That's where I started 2 years ago.
Okay, that's
yeah,
cool.
And the listing is still there. It's like things that I would charge for now, it was like $5 back then.
So now for all your products, are you the only one illustrating, like making the designs?
I don't do a lot of hand illustration now.
Who designs the stuff?
So initially we design it.
So you do it or somebody else?
Me and my sister, we sit together.
Both of you all.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You should also be in here. Yeah? We'll have another one with you. Okay.
So we design things. We look at things like, okay, what are the different ways people can buy this? Like maybe with their parents, with their spouse and things. And then we design the product. Then we sort of place products in templates. So like for our door plaque, we have like 15, 16 templates to choose from. And there are religious ones, there are festive ones, and there are home ones. And then you just kind of put your name in there and we design it and make it.
You have a website?
We do, Nabia Creates.
So I didn't check that. That's why I just asked you.
Yeah.
I have to now check it out. So I'm quite sure it's all customizable, right? I mean,
everything is customizable.
I didn't do that research. Okay, I'll think about it. Okay, next, we've known a lot about you, and I feel, I still do not know, but I feel that you should be having a process. Process as in, like, for example, let's talk about someone I follow. You know Akshay Kumar?
Of course.
Yeah, I follow Akshay Kumar.
Why would you ask me that?
I'm just asking you. You know Chris Fade? Chris Fade?
Yes,
yeah. So I follow these guys, okay? So there's a process for them. So their process is they wake up at 4 in the morning. They just wake up and then they say they run or walk and then they hit to work and then they finish work, then they gym. That's their process. Now, I do not know much because this is what they've spoken in social media and I would love to one day ask them. But there's the process for a lot of people. I also have a process. I want to know what's a process of a 23-year-old entrepreneur. What's your process? What do you do from morning? Wait, do you have a process? Sorry.
I somewhat have a process, but the whole process is just work. So I will wake up in the morning. I like to wake up before I actually start getting calls and messages.
What time is that?
Around 9.
9:15.
Yeah. I'll wake up around 9:15. Then I'll just think about the day. I'll write my to-do list, what all I have to do, get done, and take some time to myself. And then I start with work. And then the day just ends with work.
Any particular thing you do every day? Do you journal? Why I'm asking you made a post on.
Yeah. So I do my breathing exercise because it does get. I do get anxiety sometimes when there's too much to handle and there are 5 people. Everyone is talking to me at the same time, and I am an anxious person. So I do my breathing. I listen to music sometimes even when I'm doing work because it just helps me also keep my cool. And I sit with every team member every single day, production issue, delivery partner. I keep in check with them, marketing, sales, everything.
So coming to your production line, like for me particularly, there are some products that you have which are very unique. Like I do not know the actual word, but I know it's a star thing.
The stars map.
Stars map. Yeah. Stars map is, I think, very unique. And then your Spotify collection also is very crazy. According to you, what is the best creation you really love? Like for me, this logo which is there of podcast, we designed it, right? I love this.
It's really nice.
It's my favorite. I love it. So something like that. So I have a lot of other things, but now I can't show you 100 things. So this is there for everyone to see. This is one logo I really like. It's a nice, cool logo and it's fun. I'm proud of it. What are you proud of from your products?
So colorful. I think my favorite would always be the Spotify glass art.
Why would that be? What's so special about it?
It's so versatile. You could get it for anyone in your life, and they have to love it, right? Because we do it with a picture and a song.
Yeah.
We do it with videos on YouTube. We've done it where people would record voice notes and then give us the file, and then when you scan the code, the voice note would play.
Okay.
We've done things with quotes. So pretty much anyone you want to gift it to. Like people come and they're like, what's the best thing we can get? I'm like, this is a Nabia Creates starter pack. Get the Spotify glass art, get the water bottle, and they begin from there.
And how did this idea come? Like, where did you find the
I
idea?
think honestly, the Spotify glass art something that I saw like people. So actually, when I started, there was no one in this industry or this space which were making affordable gifts. Gifting is a very overcharged industry, and I wouldn't say that it's not justified. Obviously, every business has their own prices, but for me, I was like, I want to offer this in a much better price. So I made the Spotify glass art. I forgot the question.
Oh, how it made. No, I was asking about how did you come out with the Spotify?
Okay, so
thing?
so then I saw a lot of people in other countries who would show their the Spotify plaque, and I'm like, I can make that. Now I want to make that, and I made it. Same thing, put it up on Instagram. People loved it, and then from there on, people just started coming to us with requests.
Okay.
So I want to get this kind of door plaque. Door plaque was our second product, so it's just the sign that goes outside your house. And they were like, I want to put this with my husband, my name, and then we get water bottle, and then the line just continued on from there.
What's your second best creation in your thing?
I think the door plaque. Because when we actually first made the door plaque, so it's actually a wood carving, right?
You all do that?
No, we don't do that. Okay. So first we tried to do that. That's what I'm telling you. Like we got this hand machine, we tried to do it. It was a disaster. Not even tough, because obviously you need to be like a calligraphy artist perhaps to do it, and then the temperature of the machine, and then we looked into like how do find the machine and then make the product beautifully. I love the door plaque as well, and it's beautiful. Like it was one time my sister went to give a delivery in Birdsby to another customer, and she saw our door plaque outside another customer's house, and I still have that picture.
Coming to experience, like this was a nice experience. Tell me one of the most satisfying moments that you've got from a client. I mean, you still remember. Do you have any?
I have way too many. So
one thing which is just coming top of your mind right now.
I know that I recently went to my friend's birthday, Amen. I went to her birthday party, and there was her friend. She's like, I'm so glad I finally got to meet you. And I was like, oh, she's like, I've ordered so many things from you, and everything is so beautiful. And to me, that was just surreal.
That was your best.
That was my best.
Wow, that's amazing. Coming to, I have a question, okay? Like, this is my personal question. So we, as you know, we had ordered one gift from you. That was the star map. I didn't understand that. Like first time, like it sounds cool, but I don't really, I mean, I'm not so also, but I didn't get what's the idea of that map? So what happens in
the stars map, it's a showpiece. It's not going to do anything or play anything for you. But the circle that you see in the middle of the map big, that is how the stars looked on your particular date or time. So the more information you give us, the more accurate we make the map. So it's like the day you met with the date, the time, the location. That's how the stars looked above you.
Oh, and I'm so curious to know, how do you find this detail? But that's I think your trade, so I don't want to share that. But yeah, again, what all questions you need like to get the accurate? So we need a main text. So some people put like the day a star was born or the day you became mine. We need that. That's a general phrase. We need the location. We need the time, the date. And then we make the map. It comes in variety of colors. Damn, okay, that's crazy. Talking about books, right? I mean, I like when I asked you about the question, I said book, and your eyes literally lit up about the power of subconscious mind.
The power of your soul. You've read it, right?
Yeah, I just got confused with Power, the Secret, and Power of Subconscious Mind. That's why I was like, okay. So tell me about that book. How much that book has inspired you, and what is there's always like key moments of Power of Subconscious Mind. So I have read. What type of books you read by the way?
I do that kind of genre.
The self-help.
And actual business books.
Like something you read and wow, and you're like full charged up, right?
Yes. Same. But the worst part is I read it at night. So I read
it feels at night, better.
I can't go to sleep.
I think I've realized that if you read the book in the night, you actually feel very. I don't know. Like last night, after a long time, I read and I was really charged up in the morning. That's me. I don't know.
But you can fall asleep instantly.
I did sleep instantly for sure, but I woke up charged up. Okay, so talk about power of subconscious mind, something that you've taken up. Like what
So
has
I did read
and
this
what have
book.
you used, because that's important. I want to
Yeah.
know what you've used.
So I didn't read this book until fairly recently. It took me a good 1 year to read the book. I won't lie. Then I read it page to page. I think it talks a lot. So if you've read it, you've seen there are different chapters. So it's like power with money, power with relationships, power with friendship, and the power with money part is absolutely amazing. Where they talk about there is a mantra for sales where they I forgot what it was, where it's like keep repeating this to yourselves. And I think overall book just talks about how you can deal with so many situations in your life. I love it end to end. I was just reading it last night, which is like what to say to yourself every morning when you wake up and how to remain happy.
What do you say? What do you say to yourself?
It's a very long paragraph. I have that screenshot.
Why I'm saying it is because people who are going to be, who look up to you or might look up. Obviously, I'm quite sure like 10 years down the line, people will look up to you. Like, Nabia Creates, my God. And then they'll research about you. And this is where they're going to hear it.
So it's like, there's a whole paragraph. It talks about I radiate positivity. I accept the change that comes to me. I take it in.
You do that religiously, or you're like one on days?
I say it every single day. Some days harder to apply than others, but I try my best.
Which all aspects do you apply?
I'll apply it a lot when...
Apart from career. Sorry. Because
my whole life is currently pretty much career.
Go for
I apply it actually a lot with conversing with people. So when I'm talking to people, because I tend to receive a lot of feedback also, and obviously I'm dealing with different supplier drivers, so many things. So I like to apply that in the aspect that, when someone is saying something to me, how do I take it in and how does it reflect? How am I going to let it sink into me? Is it just going to float on top? Is it going to sink deep down? Is it a change I need to make? So that's where I apply.
Okay, and recently have you used it? Power of conscious mind, you have to literally.
It is difficult to use.
It is difficult, yeah. I remember first time when I was introduced to it. I personally came across through an audiobook. So audiobooks, when I was hearing, they were just giving if it's a 300-page book, they're trying to complete it in 10 pages. Yeah. So trying to tell you. So I remember hearing about this, I think it was Albert Einstein or one of the big scientists was using that. So I don't know if you know the story. The story was I think it's Albert Einstein or somebody else. So to get those great ideas, what they would do is they would go to sleep and keep a ball in the hand. And that... No, I
think the concept is that you have to think of how you want your life to be before you go to bed.
Yeah, if you have a question, put that question in mind and then go to sleep.
And then the answer will come with you.
And you break your sleep. I was just not getting it that time. But you break your sleep and then you get the answer.
Yeah, so there are two. One is you tell yourself the question and then you just sleep on it. And you will just know the answer. Not like when you wake up, but the answer will come to you. And then the other is to visualize your life before you go to sleep and write when you wake up. And I'm yet to try the write when I wake up. Because I tend to wake up to some chaos.
Same. I don't find the pen sometimes. But anything in the creative process, have you tried something like that? Any stuff like that? Crazy stuff, how
I am very experimental with my sleeping. So I like to experiment. How can I be the most productive I can be? And I remember when we just moved in, the moving guy was putting the curtains for everyone on their windows. He was like, I don't have time to put it for you. And I was like, it's okay. And I slept without curtains for, I don't know if it's a normal thing. I slept without curtains for 4 or 5 days. And I was like, I want my body to wake up naturally to sunlight. Yeah, and I like to put myself through this thing to see how much can I push myself and where can I push myself? Where do my strengths lie? So,
what are the other books you read? Have you read
I have read Good to Great. I don't know if you've read Good to... You've read
No, read Good to Great. I've not. I've just heard. There's a book lying.
It's an amazing business book. I have read How to Win Friends and
Have you read what's that book's name? The Secret. Have you read it?
I didn't like it so much.
What?
I've read it, but at one point I was like, I don't know. I was like, can this really happen? I know it's very closely linked to power of your subconscious mind, but
it's the easiest version. I think. According to my
yeah. But then at because it didn't talk much about practical application. It just like kind of spoke about just writing it down and then it'll come to life. You have to believe that it'll come to life.
Oh,
and for me,
yeah, you're a good point. They're
Yeah.
just writing and mentally
yeah,
believing.
and
That it's
then I
practical
was like
doing.
mentally believing, like I didn't really see it. I read it, but I don't think
You
much
know,
of it.
and then power of the
Yeah,
concept.
that book took over.
Cool. My last part uh, of the podcast is about, you've already answered this, about how Nabia Creates started. Okay, you've already told me that you already did that. I want to know now what Nabia Creates is going to is forecasting. What are you planning? What do you see your brand? Now right now it has a brand image. In the next 10 years, 2030.
2030.
I just forgot which year. 2032.
Yeah.
What is your vision? What do you imagine? Before you answer that, is this something that you had in mind? Like for me, when I want to be a cricketer or something. Okay, I had a different dream. Was this something like being a businesswoman, entrepreneur? This was your dream?
Yeah, of course.
Then I mean you're in right track. So in the next 10 years, what do you envision? Or
I think more accessible.
What do you want?
I think I want to be more accessible to everyone. Like, so if you think of an occasion, you think of Nabia Creates, and the line should be so big that there is something for everyone. Number one, number two, globally available, and I would love to have pickup points or a shop or something. I don't know how feasible it is, but
it can be done.
It can be done. Yeah, power of your subconscious.
So I want to let's say like, okay, from year one, let's do a 1 year goal. Let's have this podcast part 2 next year. Okay. What are your goals? And let's rewind that time and check. Tell me in a year, what all goals do you want to achieve?
I think by next year we definitely want to start. Within this year, we want to start doing outdoor events. So I want
outdoor events.
Yes.
Like
we want to be able to have a kiosk and then.
Okay.
So what happens with us is that obviously we've been given this opportunity so many times. You can set up your kiosk, but we may customize. Then we're like, how are we going to? Like we can't even sell on the spot, and like how do we book? So, but that's something we want to tackle around and be accessible to more people, meet people. Definitely want to somehow set up a showroom sort of thing where people
Part 2, that's 2. Okay.
Yeah, where people can come, touch, and feel the product and meet with them.
So it's like, I think showroom plus a workspace. Is that what you're planning?
Workspace we have, so showroom is missing.
Okay. There are only 2 goals. Any other goal?
For now, that's it.
2 goals. Okay, so from here, 1 year later, we're going to again have the podcast.
I think the goal would also include just more about me, because right now it's all business.
Okay. So we'll have these goals, and 1 year from here, we'll start with this. Okay?
Really?
Yeah, we'll check. We'll check. I've done with everyone.
Okay.
Let's see now. Like, it's all about like also, it's like a goal setting. Let's see what happens with this story. I mean, obviously it's not the end. I mean, it's now you're going to go for 10, 20, 30, 40 and I don't know how much. So it's going to be a story. It's going to be like a book. One day somebody will write about Nabia Creates, make a film. Who knows? So this is where they'll get the points, right? So we'll talk about this. Now, let's end the podcast with certain learnings that you've learned as a young entrepreneur, right? Especially for kids who who also want to be entrepreneurs, or people who are elderly, like 20, 30 plus, who want to now do something of themselves. What are the learnings that you've learned and you would like to share? 3 things, let's say 3 things if you could.
It's okay if everyone doesn't support you. That's the first thing. There's a lot of people who will come and talk things to you and try to slow you down or put you down, and it's okay if everyone is not on your side. It happens. Second key learning is to look at money. Because if you're a passionate entrepreneur, you're so crazy about just, that's how I am, just getting my things to people, and often it's like, what is coming in, is it a sustainable business? So look at finances would be number 2, and number 3 would be just a start, because I talk, because my page is sort of like where I talk to people personally as well. So I'll get people asking me like, I want to start this, I don't know what to do, and there are people who've been asking me this for a year, and I'm like, just start anywhere. start with the page, because I still have that screenshot where it was just 4 followers. And I was like, just start. Like, what's the worst that will happen? So those would be my.
These were the things that you've had in your life?
Yeah, it's so important. You know, just keep thinking about, I'll make this better, that better, then I'll release it, then I'll release it, and that then will never come.
Just today and right now. So with right now, people might start, but we will end the podcast. We will end the podcast here, hoping that 1 year from now we'll again have it, and we'll also speak about the topic. So thank you so much.
Lovely.
Boom, done. Thank you so much. Talking to Nabia, in fact, listening to Nabia made me realize how passionate she was with her art, with her craft, and she's actually one of those prime examples where a person who has some passion, how they have converted it into their careers now and has really done well. So there's a lot of learning from Nabia's story, and I hope you've learned something from it. If you like this podcast, don't forget to hit the like button and follow us on Spotify, because we upload all these amazing podcasts, amazing stories over there 48 hours before YouTube. So follow us over there, follow us on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. This is Anil Lobo, and you're listening to Rhino's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Stay happy and stay blessed. Bye-bye.